Look at how gorgeous she is, everybody. Look at my girlfriend. Mi amor. Okay. So I'm going to be talking from Katie's perspective. This is what she has told me from her experience being a former XOXO trainee. Katie says, I met Myah when I was 16, her being 19 at the time. But because I saw her as my idol, I lied about my age to be seen as cool to her. I started to become her friend and was regularly put into group calls with XOXO and Myah, along with Kovard, who would have been her boyfriend at the time. The only thing Myah would do on SL would be to go to the help hub and argue with people, often using hurtful terms at the time. I didn't understand the true power behind the words retarded and etc. I was also former XOXO trainee. Yes, this is real. Yes, this is an actual trial in her infamous XOXO group. Katie was a trainee and so was I. I wasn't ever given the tag. I don't know if it's because Myah didn't approve of me yet or because I wasn't around long enough, but I was never given the tag. Katie definitely had the tag though. She was a trainee or whatever. Which is fucking weird to me. I don't understand. Can't be asked how you have a trainee aspect of your fucking group. I mean, I guess, but like that's just weird as fuck to me. But anyways, Katie says we started to argue and she had referred to me as the N-word with the hard ER, then played it off as no big deal. But despite my age, I was very aware that that's a racial slur and definitely not okay. I wasn't aware at the time that she had called me this until Katie and I talked about it again, like years later. But Katie had told me that she heard Myah herself call me the hard ER. And she had said the slur after her boyfriend had called me the hard ER first. So she was repeating him, I mean, also referring to me as in nigger. Very hard ER at the end of that. So she couldn't understand that I wasn't blindly taking her side over the argument because we were friends, and tried to convince me it was normal to defend her friend despite what they had done. That's also why I feel like me and Katie had this little joke that like I stole her from XOXO, but I kind of see it that way because Katie quickly realized that I was a genuine person, unlike Myah, who likes to kind of play off like she's genuine, play off that she's like, you know, this really cool girl who's not racist or not this or not that, but in reality, a lot of her friends just justify what she does and enables her and really pretend like there's no issue in the things that she says and does to people. Katie said she was heartbroken because she was an idol of hers, which I was also heartbroken as well because I was also a fan before her friend. So to me, in my aspect, a lot of people like to play off in Second Life. I think make it seem like I'm her stalker, but it was really more of me turning fan to frenemy, pretty much. So I was also like, I kind of also looked up to her because she was also a chick who's my age, who's doing a lot of shit that I wanted to do that I couldn't do, you know. So just very not cool. Katie also said after she removed me from XOXO and told all of the members to stop contacting me as a cult would do. So obviously, as soon as she was removed from XOXO, she was basically excommunicated from the members. Everyone who was friends with her stopped talking to her, blah blah blah. She said, I then started to receive messages on my Instagram from all of the XO members that were a part of the group at the time, Gigi, Tila, Solares. making various comments about my weight. Bear in mind, I was 16. Yeah. So they definitely did body shame her. I can also pull up my own receipts, where her friends were also bullying me and, body shaming me, calling me a man, saying I looked like a man and stuff. Um, so they are very fucking rude with that shit. They would always make comments about weight and, you're this, you're that. So this is my exposed page for Myah. This is old receipts. It says March 1st, but this is back in 2018, or 2019 or something. So this is one of her friends, Tila. She says, "Ha, you look like a full-blown male." Um, this is her friend Gigi saying I'm wasting my time because I look dumb. Talking about her. She thinks I'm trying to gain some sort of relevancy by speaking on Maya's name, when this is literally not the case. Anybody, if anyone thinks I'm doing this for clout, you can be surely mistaken, because I have gained no form of clout from this. If anything, I've gotten more hate than clout. So this isn't about relevancy. This is about deplatforming a person I know and believe is very toxic to not only SL community, but to Instagram and to YouTube and every other platform she's on, because she likes to talk about these oh, you can be better, all this, that, and the third, basically justifying everything that she does to make it seem like she doesn't do these things, and which is very untrue. She does a lot of these things and she likes to justify it with very unreasonable justifications. So anyway, Katie continues to say she had just finished school, so I had nothing to focus on except these constant comments on her weight. God, it's literally someone's TV somewhere else. Anyway, which threw my mental state into a deep eating disorder. I dropped half my body weight by the end of the year. We started speaking around March. So this is what really made me upset, because obviously I was also young at the time too. She was 19, I was 18. So Katie was 16 at the time. I didn't know, because she also just wanted to be around the quote unquote cool kids. So um but I was also young. I also didn't know as much as I do now. So with that being said, um I was also very ignorant. What the fuck was I even trying to say? I forgot what the fuck I was trying to say. I forgot my train of thought. From that year, I couldn't gain weight because of the illness that had formed. I was hospitalized at 6 stone. That's 84 pounds. Holy shit, babe. I also didn't realize this at the time because I wasn't as aware of eating disorders as I am now. I didn't know that Myah had such an effect on my girlfriend, because me and my girlfriend, also, it's hard for us to stay in contact because she does live in the UK. And she doesn't really get on SL the same times I'm on, because of the time difference. It's kind of hard for us to be on at the same time. But during the time that we were together all those years ago, I didn't know that she had this much of an effect on my girlfriend, because I was also unaware of what things could really have an effect on people. A lot of people these days, especially Gen Z, my own generation that likes to claim that I'm a millennial, like to play it off like these things are okay or it's not a big deal, when in reality it is a big deal. My girlfriend right here, and so am I, are a very prime example of how real it can be. She says, even now I still struggle with eating, but it's easier to deal with now I'm 19 and can avoid triggers and etc. So again, speaking from a person of experience, and also being a person that was in the stages of internet being as common as it is now, back in my age, back in my time, you know, as old heads likes to say it, um, I was also getting used to talking to other people, especially other people from other states, you know, and you don't realize, especially when you're that young, you don't realize how much of effect these people really have on you, because you may think it's no big deal just to say, you know, go kill yourself to one person, but you don't know what triggers people have. You don't know what you can say can really affect a person or not. You know, you may think like, oh, I was just mad, they know I'm joking, or they know I'm not being serious, but you really don't know, you know. Like my girlfriend said here, she was 16 at the time, and she really developed a real eating disorder from, you know, just Myah and her friends really just putting us down. And I was also very self conscious too, because her friends would constantly tell me I look like a man, and point out my hairy mustache. Like, but now, you know, especially with more non binary people coming out, I feel more expressive to not care about that. But before I wasn't, you know. Katie says she would also mention my financial situation in front of the rest of the XO to purposely make me spend more money on my avatar to fit it with them, always asking me when I next was going to have money to fix my avatar. Again, I was 16 with no job. That's another thing too I noticed. She is very fucking classist. And I'm not saying this lightly. She is very classist. Katie wasn't the only one she'd make fun of about her money, because she also made fun of me too. At the time of me hanging out with Myah, I didn't have my own computer, and my cousin was nice enough to give me his old computer. I expressed that to the group while we were all hanging out, and they would basically shit on me, saying you're using a hand-me-down computer. Like, oh my god, your computer's trash. Like Maya's flaunting around her Alienware. Like, oh my god, she has the best computer, and you have a shitty ass computer, and you have a hand-me-down. Blah blah blah. Comments about my broke person avatar were constant. Yeah, yeah. She would also shit on my avatar as well. I tried so hard just to look like I wasn't a broke bitch, because that was constant around Myah. You know, she wanted you to look like you spent thousands of lindens on your avatar. You didn't want to look basic. You can't not have a mesh body. Like all this. I mean, yeah, it is me, but it's also me trying to seek approval from her fucking eye. Um, Also me still trying to look cute in Maya's approval. I would also go to every store that she went to whenever she was shopping. I'd go to her store and purposefully buy from the stores that she bought from, just so that I could gain her approval. And like just thinking about it now is fucking crazy to me. Like, what? Like, me actually just shopping wherever she shops, because, you know, that's cool to her, whatever. Katie says, once again, me and Myah never argued directly against each other. All of this was in retaliation of me saying I wasn't comfortable with her saying the N word. She purposely sends people out to dox SL users she disagrees with. This is very, very, very fucking true, because I was doxxed by her friend Boyd, which I'm sure a lot of people know as Boyd Doghouse or whatever. I like to call him old geriatric fuck, because that's what he is. He is an old geriatric fuck. She is the one who told him to dox me, I'm sure. But as Katie said herself here, she does have Boyd. I think it's Boyd, because Boyd is the one who doxed me. But I think it's him doing all her dirty work for her. Because Boyd got my real name, and he used my real name as a fucking SL username, like the dick he is, and was harassing me at the time. He knew where I lived when all this shit got rehashed this year. The fact that I also got doxxed for my dead name is very triggering for me, because, you know, I don't want to be known as that name. I don't want people knowing that name who don't know me. I don't want anyone to hear that name, because they're gonna question, oh, well, like, why are you saying that? Like, what's your name and all that shit. Like, I hate when people do that. Um, yeah, that was very triggering for me. Also, I want to address a few of the comments that you guys left on my video. Guys, what it all boils down to is that the things that she's doing is not okay. Even though you may think it's cool, it's dandy, you know, a lot of the people that deal with her and are around her are a lot older. So obviously a lot of people have a lot tougher skin. But for me and Katie, as impressionable teenagers around the time, these things have an effect on us, because we were also, you know, like I said, young and impressionable. And also, I was at the age where I was just getting used to the internet, you know? People in Gen Z like to make it seem like it's not a big deal because they're used to the internet. I'm a child who didn't get used to the internet until age like 11, 12, bro. And I just started getting on the internet when I was 9. Like, you know, before all this shit, nobody was calling, nobody was bullying me online. I was getting bullied in person. You know, that's different. And when you go online, especially when you're online to seek, you know, not validation, but just, you know, friends and just mutual people who are gonna be nice to you, you don't think that these things are going to have effect on you, but they do, because especially coming from someone you think or you know or you want to believe is your friend, and they're going around talking shit about you, like, that's obviously going to make you feel bad. You know, no one's going to be fucking happy if, you know, you find out your friend's calling you a fat hairy bitch and a stalker. You know, no one's going to be happy about that. And like Katie said, she was also 16 and impressionable. The things that these people said to her had real effects on her. She gained a real eating disorder from that, and that's not something to joke about. That's not something that's funny, you know? Like, people like to say it's not a big deal, but then you see kids that are literally crying on TikTok because of how much bullying they get from one video, and saying how they don't even want to post anymore. They don't even want to go on social media anymore, because at a certain point it gets really bad. And especially when you're going against a creator who has a big following, and, you know, has people who are going to back her up, it's not like that doesn't have an effect on you, especially if you're dealing with this alone, like I was and me and Katie were. We didn't have a big group of girls to go back to and being like, oh my god, you know, someone's talking about me, and then have them be like, oh my god, I'm gonna fight that bitch for you, because we didn't have that. You know, all we had was each other. And even then, like, of course we had each other, we were both going through our own things. I was also going through my own things outside of Second Life. So just the fact that I went to Second Life for escapism and got bullying instead made it a lot more serious than people like to see it as. I know to some people this might not seem like a big deal. This is not like something to talk about. I seem like I'm clout chasing, but it's not clout chasing. It's literally speaking up against someone I know and believe is a bully on and offline. And I'm not the type of person that's gonna support that. I'm not the type of person that's gonna encourage or enable that, because all her clique does is enable and encourage her behavior. They do not try to correct her, and they aren't able to correct her, because even if someone does try to correct her, they're put on excommunication, or they no longer have access to the group chat or Myah or any of her friends. Like, or they get bullied or harassed. Like, this is more than just a fan base. This is more like a cult to me. Like, literally, this whole XOXO bitch clique literally seems like a Myah cult. Like, all they do is sit around and kiss her ass, enable her, and let her be shitty person on and offline, and they don't care because they don't get the shit that other people get from Myah because they're up her ass. Maya's gonna kiss anyone around her, but the second you're against her, it's fuck you and everybody and her heathens come to you too. So it's quite unfair, especially coming especially for me because I'm a small creator. You know, not a lot of people know me, and just the fact that everybody knows her and nobody knows me, it's so much easier to be like, well, I'm gonna take her side and not my side because she's more popular or she's more liked or whatever, or nobody really knows me and, you know, no nothing of me. So